This is a topic that I haven't really had a chance to converse with people about much because it just never comes up. But it's something that I've wondered about, and I may have brought it up once or twice over the years when I've thought about it. I went to college and I studied sports medicine, and I would often see athletes be very, very disciplined until they got injured, and then their whole life just fell apart. Their identity fell apart. Understandably, because that's their whole identity. They get up in the morning to play their sport. That's what they love to do. So when they're injured and they can't play, a lot of them become depressed and just are super eager to get back as quickly as possible. And it's often very frustrating for them because they can't get back as quickly as they want to, back to playing. Have you ever heard of red shirting? I think that's what they call it, red shirting, when you wear the red shirt at practice because you're injured and you can't play, and then you actually get to skip that year, and then you kind of redo your freshman year, or you redo your senior year, or whatever. You have 4 years to play that sport because you were redshirted an entire year. That's a thing that they do in college sports. Anyway, so I'm talking about discipline. A lot of people say, well, people who are in the military, or people who are in high-level sports, like people who are athletes, are very, very disciplined. But oftentimes you see these people come out of these organizations and all of a sudden they fall apart. They gain weight, they find it harder to keep in shape, they find it harder to keep a routine. Why? Because they don't have somebody else telling them what to do. They are very disciplined people when they're playing their sport or where they're in this organization, but as soon as you take that away from them, they don't seem so disciplined anymore. So that seems like the difference between self-discipline and just discipline. If you're disciplined from an external thing, like somebody telling you what to do, that's not necessarily self-discipline, right? Because if you're self-disciplined, it's you. It's waking up in the morning and knowing that you have something to do. And is there really a difference? Or do people who are self-disciplined feel like they're disciplining themselves? Or is it more like they're just following a guide that was laid out to them in life? Like maybe they follow God. They wake up in the morning, they just follow the word of Jesus, and that's what they do during the day. Or they wake up and they do the thing that their father or their mother told them to do, and they use that as a guide for their life. And they just have very strong morals and values that they follow every day. I've heard a lot of really successful people don't actually have an incredible amount of self-discipline compared to the rest of us. They just make it very convenient for them to do certain things. Like, for example, if they're not super disciplined working out and staying in shape, they'll move to a place where they're very close to a gym. Or they'll hire an assistant to wake them up in the morning and tell them to go to the gym and just take them to the gym, hand them coffee, hand them a workout routine to do. So they leverage using the resources around them to be disciplined. So it seems like to be disciplined in general, whether you want to call it self-disciplined or not disciplined, it seems like using your environment to the best of your advantage, whether that was a guide and whether that was values that were given to you as a child or just a really long time ago, maybe a year ago, whatever, or if it's resources that you have at hand right now that you can utilize to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to every single day to move your life in the direction that you want. It seems like that is what most people do to gain success. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm glad I could just pull out the camera and articulate this in a way, because I was thinking about this morning, and this thought has popped into my head time after time over the years, where I was thinking, like, people in these organizations, like professional athletes or in the military, people would say they have self-discipline. They're like, man, you'd think after they got out of that, they would be self-disciplined. They're not really self-disciplined. They were disciplined by somebody else. But can we leverage some of that ourselves? Does everybody utilize the resources around them to stay disciplined? Do some people just have an incredible amount of self-discipline? When does it turn from regular discipline to self-discipline? Like, I can get up and go to the gym, no problem, because I love it. But was that because, fitness was instilled in me as something important at an early age? and now I've just made a commitment to do it every day. Is that discipline, or has it now become intrinsically solidified inside so that it is now self-discipline and I don't need any external factors to get me there? I'll just, if I move somewhere, if I'm traveling or whatever, I'll just find somewhere to work out. Anyway, yeah, this was just a fun rant that I wanted to go on. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and thank you very much for watching if you made it to the end of this video.